Good evening, and welcome to this special crossover episode of LGBTQ plus in Black. I call it a crossover episode because I am not Peach, and I will be hosting this episode. And for people that don't know, I am Dion Hill, and I am a board member of IME Inc. and also the host of the Ally Show, Good Neighbor Talks. And first of all, I want to thank everybody for allowing me to come into their space. And this is going to be a special episode where, as though I will be asking the panel many questions that are made up from allies. Um, I want to preface this to say that some of these questions may seem simple to the panel and maybe even comical to think about because some of them are myths and some of them are common sense. But you'd be surprised that a lot of times allies have a lot of questions that people like me who have been in these spaces with people in the community for years um, don't even often think about. But some of them are very poignant. And what I've learned from talking to many people in the community is everybody's opinion is different. And if you watch this show over the few weeks that has been programmed, been going on, everybody has their own opinion, and it may be surprising. So once again, I'd like to thank everybody for allowing me in space, and hopefully we will have a poignant discussion, and some people will get some great education. I know I'm looking forward to it. Oop, oop. So right now we should actually let's bring in our panel.
Hey,
Hello.
hello, dear.
Hello. Hello, what's good?
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
Uh, so we got Donna and that's Tim, right?
Yes.
Um, I've met Tim a couple times. I hope you it's several different times. Very great entertainer. I would like to tell you that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
and and, and you know, for you especially, Tim, and a lot of people that do your genre, when I see you outside of your inner tech, it's it's like night and day. It really,
Right, 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 right.
and I think that's probably like the whole beautiful thing about it, correct? Like
Right.
you just become
Most
that. You're totally that other person.
right. Most of the time when I'm just myself, people don't even think that I'm part of the community, nonetheless, an entertainer of that nature. So
hmm
yeah, it's every room I walk into is always a delight because it's always gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay. Well, I don't want to bring in. Hey, Donna.
Hello.
Donna. Me and Donna go back.
Yep.
Even though she's an Eagles fan, we
So
still
you,
we
Right.
still we still have love for one another,
yes.
big time.
Eagles for life. Eagles for life.
Right.
Yeah. So we want to get this started off, and I have like 10 questions, and I'm giving everybody time to answer it. One of the main one that I want to start off with is especially because these are ally questions, and I'm an ally. I wanted to know, do you believe that the LGBTQ plus and trans attracted community actually benefit from having allies? Whoever wants to go first, he's ready.
I'll go first. Yeah.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Don.
We yes. I think yes, we do benefit. Because besides the our community, we need the help and we need the support from the allies because majority of that community is they don't like they don't like us. They don't like what we do. They don't like what we are about. So to have allies on our side that will stand up for us, for the ones that are like that don't care about us, don't respect us, don't understand us. It helps. It helps to have them, especially if you have an ally in the family, and then you have someone in that family that is homophobic. They can explain and you know, let them understand that, you know, we are all human regardless of what we do anywhere in our lives. We on this earth for one reason. So I think, yeah, allies are very beneficial to us, and I hope we can get a lot and abundance of allies, because they are really very helpful to our community. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Well, Tim?
I think it's very beneficial because there's a lot of ignorance out there, but a lot of people, especially in the Black community, are raised a certain type of way, and that type of way is that this is the ultimate sin. This is an abomination. So it's always important to have those allies that can break things down to them from a neutral place, from a neutral standing. You know, um, the ignorance that we're raised with in our community is very similar to racism in the white community. You know, they're raised with that. That's bred into them, so they don't know anything else. So they don't know that how their beliefs and how they were raised is ignorance. You know, so yes, I think it's very, very important to have allies.
It's very you know, you use terms right there, Tim, that I just had a discussion when you say so we talked about actually being on the backbone of like religion in the black community as a group. Um, may I ask, was you brought up in was you brought up in the church? Or were you religious?
Yes, very.
Okay.
And
'Cause- okay.
with my situation, my family didn't force me to go. I went on my own.
Hmm.
I found my own home church when I was 11, and I started going to church on my own. But prior to that, I always attended church with my grandmother.
Hmm. Because I only brought that up because you used the terms. I just had a conversation a couple weeks ago um, with my sister's hairdresser, a woman, and she was 56 years old, and she was
Mhm.
very religious, and she has a daughter that is gay, and she
Okay.
used those terms of abomination, and that she was going, that her daughter was going to hell, and she just
Mhm.
laid on the forefront of their religion, and she was talking about scripture with like Lazarus 20 or something to that extent. But I found it interesting that, and I think we as Black people, you use like the same mantra that I use as being an ally. You know, people often ask allies, "Why do you care?" It has nothing to do
To
with
do with
you.
you.
But I always look at it as though I always compare it to being gay people as being gay people in the struggle of the LGBTQ plus community now is I always have empathy because I compare it to the struggle of Black people in the '60s and and prior.
Yeah.
I think it's very identical to where as though it was allowed the racism and that you know the prejudice was allowed because they people of color like we were just allowed to be stepping stones. And I often relate to people and allies when I talk about or possible allies that hey, gay people are this decades, this centuries black people from the '60s. So imagine actually being gay and black. You got You
Well,
know,
I
Right.
don't have
I
to
always say,
imagine
if you're black, you're gay, and you're a woman, you got three strikes against you as soon as you wake up in the morning.
Right.
And so, me, especially, me being the only male member of the board, and having my sisters on the board that are part of the community. I know in some spaces I have to protect them. But I think that was very interesting answers for the first question. The follow up on that, um, is there anything specific that you would think that allies should actually do in any type of spaces to support the community?
wait.
What can we do?
Did everybody on the panel answer the first question?
Uh, I only see. Oh, is it a third? Oh,
Stan is there.
I didn't see Stan's. Okay, I
Oh,
didn't
hey.
see. Just Stan
Stan Mason.
answer.
No,
Stan
he
there. I know he didn't answer. Is he there? I'm
Okay,
sorry.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I didn't see you. I'm sorry, Stan.
Oh, it's okay.
Good evening. Go ahead, Stan.
Oh, yeah. I think allies are important, and for a couple of reasons. Um, One for support, and then the second of reasons that allies can open up some doors as well. Um, and then it goes back into what you talk about, like in the '60s, between like black and white, things like that. But yeah, it's always important to have allies, and definitely we can definitely benefit from allies because, like I said, they can actually help with certain understandings of people, and they can definitely open up some doors for the community.
yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry about that, Stan. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. That follow up question though. I want to know what do you think is some things that allies could actually do to support the LGBT plus and trans attracted community um, when they are out and about in different spaces.
Uh,
Uh, I think they. Oh, go ahead, Tim.
On me.
Yeah,
Um,
go.
Go ahead, go ahead, Tim.
just when you're out and about, just treat us like everybody else. You know, if it's something that you don't understand or you don't know, ask questions. And then understand that we're not all the same person. You know, straights have a tendency to relate everything to their cousin or the local gays in their community, and everybody is not those people. If that's the limited handful that you've had access to, then that's the limited handful that you've had access to. Just like black people as a people, we are not the same person. It's the same thing with people in the LGBTQIA circle. We're not the same person. Just learn more, and if you truly want to support us, support us. Don't support us in person, and call us your faggot or your gay friend
Mm,
when you're talking to your straight friends.
Mm-hmm.
See, because of the fact that I don't have an outwardly gay appearance and I don't have outwardly gay mannerisms, I'm around heterosexual conversations all the time, and they have no idea
hmm
how I move. So I get to listen to a lot of the other side, and I hear things that they wouldn't say if they knew my actual orientation.
Right.
So definitely just be genuine and just be mindful. And if you truly are working for the better of our situation, then be consistent. That's it. That's all.
mm,
Mhm.
good. Well said. Well said. Donna.
Yeah. I think Tim round that up very well. But yeah, they. I think they should also, speak up for us, advocate for us.
hmm
Um, if they see somebody that is talking bad or correct them. Let them know that that's wrong. Shouldn't be talking about somebody like that, that especially you don't know. And yeah, just come to some of our functions, hang out with us and see how we live. We good people. We're not bad. We're human. Like I said, we all human. So just come in, advocate for us, speak up for us, and hang out with us.
Mm, absolutely. Dan?
Oh, Michael, no. I mean, I don't think there's anything that they. I mean, as allies, they are allies because, well, for choice. Um, I think, so if they're allies because it's a choice they make. I don't think that there's anything that I would say they would have to do or I expect allies to do, except support. But I wouldn't put like this is what they should do and this is what they supposed to do. They are allies by choice, and just by them being allies, period. Uh, to me, it says a lot. I wouldn't. It's like even in the days of the black and white, in the '60s, you had white allies that supported. It wasn't that there was anything you expected them to do. You just appreciated the support, and then just let them take it from there. I would not hold them responsible to say, as an ally, I expect you to do this and I expect you to do that. It's just the fact that you are an ally, and just the fact that you're showing that speaks volumes.
Yeah. Oh, I want to add a little bit to that because again, when I'm everybody has hit on something that as an ally that I have had to come face to face with. But powerfully, the way Tim is stated, like being in those spaces, you well, you wouldn't be surprised, Tim, because you've been in those spaces. I'm pretty sure Stan may have had the same situation, especially being black males. Um, People just automatically assume that you are, I would say, anti-gay. I'm saying this for me, like just how I'm a big guy. I like sports and all those normal whatever heterogeneous things. But when they do say something out of the way about the community or even racial about another race, this, that, another, and I actually check them,
Hmm.
they get so like antsy and like what? Wait, what? like, and I'm
Right.
like, yo, I don't get down like that. Like, I don't, yo, that's inappropriate. I'm like, yo, I'm not for that. I don't get down like that. And then when you ask them, like when they say something, I'll be like, do you know? Do you know any gay people? Do you?
Mm-mm.
Have you had conversations? I mean, friends, relatives, and not. Okay. And it also to back up what Donna said about actually just coming out to a meeting with you. Yo, that's how I got here. I always talk about like I went to an event, catered the event, and then it was a whole LGBT plus event, and I just came with from the realization that like, oh, these are just people. They just cool,
Right.
and then like a few people might have a little, might dance a little bit, be more flamboyant, or they but everybody, it wasn't like the stereotype of what people actually portray. So I'm
Right.
I'm I'm glad that was like meant like you guys actually just come out and said that. Like But I've been in that situation many a times, Tim. You just be surprised that in the 2020s, like to hear how certain people talk,
Right.
and they really truly believe it and think it's still funny. We have somebody else is joining us. Oh, excuse me, I gotta take my glasses off. Oh, is that
Kalani?
Kalani?
Yes, Kalani.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. How was that seafood salad?
Listen, that's all I can say. That's
I
all I can say. It's
appreciate
good.
that. We actually went through couple of questions, but I mean, I would love to. I'm pretty sure everybody would love to hear your opinion. We only went through two questions, so I'm going to relay them to you and see how what you had to say about them.
Okay.
The first one was, what do you believe that the LGBT plus community and trans and they benefit from having allies? Um,
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I think we all benefit from being connected to somebody because
mhm,
sometimes people can go into rooms that you can't and they can advocate and they can, defend for you. So yeah,
mhm.
I definitely think we can benefit from allies, strong, positive allies.
Absolutely. And the follow up to that was, what should like me and other allies actually do to how can we show our support for the community? What anything specific?
I think specifically it starts with understanding that we're all people. I think if we understand that, it won't be a divide on who we'd advocate for and who we defend. If people are people, then we're just going to defend people. So I think it comes down to knowing that we're all pretty much the same. Just because we
Mhm.
live a different way than you live doesn't mean we're too much different. We're still people.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you with that. Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now we're gonna go into the questions that that could be a little bit controversial.
Spicy.
But I done seen episodes of the show, so y'all know how to deal with
Yeah.
controversy just fine.
You're in the right place. You're in the right place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep it going to
Um,
sex.
well, do you believe that sexual orientation is innate? I mean, it's something that you are, you born that way, or is it a matter of personal choice? Who would like to take that one first? I mean, to follow up on that is just because I've I'm pretty sure we all have heard, and I've had conversations with people that think like people. I never like the term lifestyle as me,
Me.
and I mean, everybody's allowed to use whatever you want, but I always just think like people are born. Personally, I believe people are born who they are. They may not have been fully formed when they was, but they still it's in them. It's not whereas though they. I don't think anybody will wake up one day and say, you know what, I would love to be a part of a community that's being persecuted. I'm going to do that. So, but I mean, everybody's up to pick. Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead. You first. You want to go ahead, jump in.
Okay. So you want a controversy? So here
Yes.
we go. A lot of people say that they were born this way. I do not. I was molested as a very young child, and I believe if those thoughts hadn't been forced on me at that age, that I shouldn't even have been exposed or considering sex. I don't think that I would be this way. And I say that because of my experiences and relationships within the LGBT community. I just don't think like most people, and I've had problems connecting because of the fact that I'm not hypersexual and I don't follow groups and I don't follow cliques, and that has been a large part. That's been a large part of my gay experience, not fitting in because I just wasn't interested in any of the stuff that all the other gays around me were interested in. So I don't think everybody is born this way. I think there
Mhm.
are natural interferences that can happen to you in your life that cause these preferences. That's my answer.
Interesting. I
Let the
appreciate
games
that.
begin.
Let the games begin.
Hmm.
That's interesting, and I've heard that. I've had conversations in the past with people that were in your same situation that something happened to them as a child, and actually they went the opposite way. I mean, the person I'm talking about was a female, and she wound up going in the opposite direction, whereas though becoming a lesbian, and she blamed it on being, molested by a male family member as a child, whereas though she couldn't see herself having any type of affection
Connection with a man.
to a man. And she went chopped her hair off and went became a what we would describe as a stud. Whereas though she
Hmm.
was as a she was very dresses and long hair and feminine and things like that. But I mean,
Wow.
so it could go a different way. But what is the rest of the panel? What's their opinion?
Um,
Come
Blunt.
on, come on, come on, come on.
You came up.
You need time? You need to go to somebody else, or what's up? Go to
Okay,
somebody.
me. All
Donnie,
right,
you
I'm
ready?
gonna go. I'm gonna go.
All right.
I'm gonna go. Me, I was born this way. I was not molested. I know I was born this way because when I was in public school, I had a big crush on my best friend's sister. And I always wanted to be around my friend because of her sister. I was very attracted to
Her sister.
other female, like other girls. I always knew that I was never attracted to men. Or boys. I always wanted to beat up on them. I wanted to yeah, I was a big tomboy.
Yeah, well,
and
back in the days, Donna, that meant you liked them when you beat up on them.
oh really? Wow.
No, I'm just saying that used to be the dumb thing that
Yeah,
used to say
I
back
know,
in the
right?
day. Yeah,
No, I used to not like them, and but
yeah.
I did experience having sexual intercourse with a man because I wanted a child. That was hard, but I pulled through, and I'm happy I had my daughter. But other than that, yes, I was born this way. I'm going to die this way. I've been this way since. Well, I really came out to my mom when I was 24, but I always knew when I was young I was going to be this way, and I'm not going that way. I'm going to be this way to the day I die. So I was born this way. I was
Yeah,
born this way to be this way.
okay. We love you the way that you are, Donna. That's for
Thank you.
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's for
What
sure.
said the thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Stan, what do you have to say?
um, I have to say that I it's all a personal experience. Like I was never molested, and I understand what and that's one thing. I'm open, man. I mean, I don't ever sit back and say, I can't speak on everybody's experience. I can try to understand their experiences. Like what Tim was talking about, had he not been molested, he would probably had turned out different. I can't debate any of those things because it's so diverse. My personal opinion is I never grew up around anybody or anything gay. I was never exposed to anything gay. Uh, I didn't have any, people that I looked at and I formed my opinion. I never seen it, but I just knew how I was. I was born this way. So I didn't have any template ahead of thing, just to, or standards that set, a precedent for me, and I followed like a big brother or big sister or something. So it was just I was just this way, and I knew at an early age what I liked, you know. So um, I didn't have any. How can I say? I wasn't persuaded in any one direction. I just knew what I liked, and I was, 11, 12 years old, and I knew, I had certain attractions for, feminine boys, so I would not ever debate what happened with Tim or people that got, because he's not the first person I ever heard say that.
Mhm.
And then in some situations you can get molested and it'll turn you just the opposite, you know, because you'll be resenting what happened to you and you'll fight what is in you.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So you will fight the resistance of it. So, or you'll fight the stereotypes of it. So, so I never had any kind of guidelines or anybody that I followed and saw and I turned into this. I was always maybe like a loner, even as, at that point at 11, 12 years old, but I knew what my desires were, and I knew that. And fortunately, even as a young boy, I never had any regrets about how I felt. I didn't, I just didn't. So, but I would never sit. So the bottom line is, it could go either way. Sometimes, like
Yeah.
when Tim said, you can just turn that way, and then in my case, I was born this way.
Same.
So can I follow? So Tim, so I understand what you're saying. And it was something horrible that that imprinted. I would use the term that imprinted on you.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So are you saying? So you say not saying that you was born this way, but it's something that it was repercussion. It was something that happened. So, but would that be still like you saying this is a personal choice of yours, or is just
No,
because of
no. I'm saying that the
okay,
interference. I'm saying that the interference at that age put things and thoughts and things in my mind that
okay,
weren't supposed to be there at that age.
yeah,
I'm saying
okay,
that had I not been forced into that situation, that maybe if I were just able to grow my normal path, that I may have not went this way. That's all I'm saying.
But see,
okay,
that's like the difference between me and you, Tim. See, like I understand what you're saying, that forced you. But at the same time, I didn't have anything like that happen to me. But
But
in
I'm
my
not, I'm
direction is what it,
respectfully, respectfully, I'm not talking about anybody else but me. I'm
right,
not
exactly. That's
comparing
what I'm
my
saying.
situation
Right.
to yours or anybody else's. This is what happened to me.
And
I'm
it's
not saying
diverse.
you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong because you feel that you were born that way. I'm not speaking against anybody or have a problem with anybody who feels they were born that way. I'm just speaking on what happened to me.
And that's exactly what I'm saying is that we all got a different story of how we are. I
Right.
can't debate what happened to you that made how your life is. I understand it. I can't sit back and say, oh, that didn't happen. Oh, that can't make you this. That can't make you that. That's what happened to you. And I understand that. I understand. That's why I say it's so diverse because there's no way you can just sit back and say, okay, you were born this way. It's all different things that make us who we are. Just
Yeah,
because
because
what happened to him in his journey, it didn't affect my, my journey was different. So I can't say
Exactly.
Tim was wrong and all. I understand what he's saying totally, and he's
yeah,
not the
because
first person I heard ever say that. I've heard lots of people say I was molested as a child and this led me to this. I totally understand that.
yeah, then you got straight women that been with men, married to men,
Mm-hmm.
that come over to the other side
Right.
now, and they want to date us because we do it better.
And they're tired of being abused by men.
That too.
They're tired of being abused by men. I have several
That
lesbian
too.
friends in the city that because of the fact that what was done to them, they could never imagine themselves ever willingly laying down with a man. And they
Hmm.
didn't feel that way before they were raped.
Yeah.
So in that case, so we call that a choice. Am I right?
That's
Basically,
why I want to
yes.
jump in.
Jump
Okay.
in.
Go ahead. Yeah, you jump on in.
Woo.
Come on in the room.
Ah,
All right,
woo.
get that hair together.
I'm ready now. So I think two things can be right at the same time. I think that there are some people who believe that they're born this way, and I think there's some people who think that certain things have happened that led them down a path. But I want to go back to what y'all just said. Our life is full of decisions and choices.
Hmm.
That it is.
So even if I'm molested, even if I'm raped, which I've been both,
Wow.
after the rape, after the molestation, what I decide to do in my own strength and in my own power is a choice.
Hmm.
That's true.
Although that choice could be influenced, it is not manipulated. It's a choice.
Rape is manipulation.
Not if I decide to do what I want after the rape.
Right.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I know people that have been molested. I know men that have been molested by their uncle, by their dad, by a family friend,
Mhm.
but it didn't push them to be with a man.
Right.
It actually turned them off from doing something like that. So I just
Right.
think it boils down to choice. What you decide to do with your body is your choice.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I think two things can be right at the same time. Some people are born with those ideas, with those thoughts, with those desires, and I think some desires are made.
Hmm. I agree.
Because when I first, just for an example, when I was coming up, I hated the news.
Hmm.
I hated watching it. Now you see me watching it. I'm tuned in on every chance I can get because life has, shown me that I need to be more, active and knowing what's going on in my community. So things like that can change over time. I just think that it deals with choice. And you got a choice in the matter. And you don't have to be with a man, you don't have to be with a woman, you don't have to be. Nobody's saying you have to be. But if you choose and you decide, that's what you do.
Yep.
It could be influenced, but it's not manipulated. That's just all I'm saying.
Hmm, very interesting. Um, I want to follow up on that a little bit because, uh, Connie, you brought up an interesting story. For y'all, for you guys who don't know, I have these conversations, and I've had these conversations with people over the years, just because I just find it very just refreshing when you can just understand something. And a lot of times I've had conversations with women that have been molested in my family, friends. It and the craziest thing, it's just so more common than what we think. And a lot of times it's swept underneath the rug. It happens in a lot of our families, and we just sweep it.
Mhm.
And I had a conversation with a friend. Now I'm gonna throw this to you, and this is not a question that's on here, but I just want to follow up because that was just a wonderful insight. What did we say? I had a friend who was molested by an older cousin, and it went on for a while because in the basement, babysitting type thing, and it was just
Mm-hmm.
not a good situation. But when she got older and became of age, she became more. She used sex as her own to take it back and as her own. So she was what you may call promiscuous, but it was by her choice to actually. She said she didn't want him to have the power and take the love of that from her. So she actually, became more active and experimented men, females, just that she was bisexual, but and she just did a lot of different things. I mean, even now, and I'm about to use a term that we did. I know we. Did, she is right now. She is a sex worker, but that's by her choice, and she
Mhm.
has OnlyFans, and she
Mhm.
makes a living off of that. But she is very sexual, and she took the power back for herself. So I thought that was like very interesting when you say like with being a choice, and somebody may come out the other side and just be like, all right, hey Smack, I see you jumped in here. I see you. How you doing? Tim, you wanted to, I see you wave your hand right quick. Then we
Yeah,
go ahead. What you had to say?
she's what you call sexual codependent, and basically, a lot of people's emotions, a lot of people's, a lot of people's emotions who've been through trauma are attached to sex, and it's their way of coping with the trauma. You have a lot of people out here who are sexual codependent, and they don't understand it. That's what it is. They don't understand how it attaches to their traumas. All they know is sex is a comfort. Sex fills the gap for a lot of things that aren't there or are missing or that they long for, and they use sex as a bandage to cover the wounds for everything.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are that way and don't realize it. I was that way. That's why I
Okay,
know I'm speaking from experience. But go ahead, because
I
Smack
appreciate it.
still.
Smack, go ahead. I see you. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Smack.
What was the question? I can only assume what it could have been, but what was
Oh
the
no, you know
question
what? We
so I can make sure?
actually, if the original question, we went off on a tangent because of just the conversation. But the original question was, um, do you believe being LGBT plus and trans attracted is actually innate? Is something if you were born that way, or was it a personal choice? So then we just went off on a
I,
lot of different talking about some of the stuff.
yeah, I can only speak for myself being a lesbian. My opinion is, for me, I don't think that it's like that for everybody. But for me, I feel like I was born this way. I've always felt this way. A lot of the people who are around me, um, in my close circle, we've had this discussion before, and a lot of them as well feel as they were born this way. I don't think it had nothing to do with my parents parenting. I don't think it has anything to do with trauma that happened later in my life. I always knew I liked girls when I was very young, before I even started school. Everything I did was tomboyish. I didn't
Same,
like that, huh?
same.
Oh, okay. So I don't think, I feel like I was born this way. Now, the part that Tim was talking about, I just want to get on there that, now, I don't think everyone, I mean, there may be a few people who are like that, but I don't think that's everyone's case, because I know people who have come out later in life and they didn't have any type of sexual trauma. And like I said, these are people in my close circle that didn't have any type of sexual trauma. They just have their hormones in their body. They like to have sex, and that's what it is. Some of them aren't even in relationships, but they have not become like, any sex, that word that I don't like to say, or on OnlyFans, they just have a, great black book that they could call people every day of the week, I guess, so they could get their, the nuts off or their thing off. So not everybody has to turn to that. And I don't think it comes from trauma. And that's just my opinion. Everyone isn't like that.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Or it makes them, because my brother, and this is a great one to say, my brother, when he was listening to something, he texted me. He said, "Yo, anybody ever touch you when you was a little kid, and that's why you're a lesbian?" I'm like, "Boy, what you talking about?" And
How would
so
it
Howard, and I've had the conversation with Kenzel. We talk. These are my brothers,
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Nah, ain't nobody ever touched me. What are you talking about?" "Oh, I just saw this. Dr. Umar said." I was like, "Well, you need to stop following Dr. Umar, number one."
Right.
And my younger brother was listening to somebody else, and I was like, "I don't know them people, but stop listening to conspiracy theory." And I appreciate y'all for coming to ask me, because that is not true. And if you like for me to put you around my group of friends that I've been rocking with for many years, I can, and they can tell you the way they are. Is it because somebody touched them? They go, "Oh no, my husband, no, that's good. I just want to be sure, you know what I mean? In case I need to go back and handle something." I'm just saying, I'm just sharing a story, but everybody's situation ain't like that. But people in my close circle, a lot of them feel as though they were born that way, not that something traumatic happened in their life. And that includes men as well.
Right.
thank you for that, Smack. I wanted to finish that up, but me being straight and me being a male, when we talk about being hypersexuality and things like that, um, I had an issue when I was younger, um, and to the point where as though it can be. I love the fact that Tim said that codependence. When I was in, because I'm gonna tell you, I went to therapy, and I'm okay with saying I went to therapy because I think more Black people need to go to therapy and need to
Indeed.
speak to people, and I'm not ashamed to be a Black man that said I done been in therapy. Um, and I still talk to a therapist from here and now. Here and now about certain other things, but when it came to just being sexually active and using sex as a substitute, just hurt to save, from pain, and actually to substitute for love, you know. And I found when I
Exactly.
talk to my therapist, that a lot of times people do use it as a crutch, so they don't have to deal with the true essence of their problems in their life. So it just was really, it just really hit home when Tim said that codependency, and that's what you use as a substitute. But I wanted to get Tim. You wanted to add something else to that before we move on? I saw you waving your
No,
hand.
I was just agreeing with you were saying as you said it. I
Oh,
don't. I
okay.
don't know anything else.
Yeah. So, but yeah, cool, cool. So it's cool because it's just like this is the whole thing when I'm talking about, like, as an ally and just having these conversations throughout the years with people. It's like, yo, we got the same shit going on. Like, we got the same shit going on, and I just wish if people on the other side of this camera could actually just have somebody like you guys to just say to bounce stuff off. So I think that's like, I'm gonna tell you, Smack, I was infuriated by what you just said that your people came off about, because as being educated, I'm just like, yo, why are they doing that, saying this dumb shit? But I'm glad that you was just like, yo, stop talking about that dumb stuff. And I'm glad you called me, because you can't be listening to these fools. And that, I think that's a lot of times what happened in our community, man. We listen to somebody that is quote unquote a doctor or somebody with some type of stature instead of actually talking to real people that live their life and get their opinion on what they're doing. But so,
And let me say this,
but
my brothers, they military men. And
yeah,
my younger brother is just a very he's a free spirited man. He likes everybody. You know what I mean? He don't care. He got a sister that's lesbian. So he met a gentleman who was gay. And my brother, in the business that he does, he didn't know that the guy was trying to holler at him. And it really messed my brother's head up because him just being a genuine church man, he's got a wife, kids, but nowadays that don't mean nothing, but he wasn't educated. So I send my brother stuff now so he can pick up on warning signs, different things that he said. Because my brother is just a super happy guy in love with God, like real talk. You know what I'm saying? And so that was a situation. I had to call the young man and have a conversation with him to let him know who he was talking about and to pull up off my brother because he don't get down like that. And now my brother, I'd be like, yo, let's talk. Be like, nah, sis, I don't want to talk about that. Different things I be trying to tell him so that he can be mindful of different things that are going on in our country, especially attacking my community. And sometimes he don't want to talk about it because of the situation that happened to him. And because this gay young man didn't get his way, my brother just like kind of ghosted him and just like, look, and sent him a message. And sometimes our people can't take the messages when someone is not interested. But my younger brother would have been a beautiful ally for this community. But his situation that happened to him just pushed him away. And now he's not so voiceful about it.
that's an interesting story because I find when I talk to a lot of black men and when they have conversations, they are very homophobic, and I have a couple theories of why. But one of the things that I kind of would dispel is just exactly what you said. I did. First of all, I'm. It's not one of the questions on here, but I did bring it up to Peirrce, and I didn't put it on there. But do we? You find that there's people in the community that actually go after straight people, trying to get with them,
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't.
but
Yeah.
they obviously know that they straight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
My
It's
friend,
people.
I'm gonna tell you, one of my friends, Bob,
they
she
easy to
don't
get.
mess with no lesbian women. She go after straight women, straight off the
Yeah,
rip. That's all
hmm
she go for, straight women. She
I
don't go
can't do it.
for lesbian, bisexual, none of that. She go find a straight woman,
Mm-mm.
and that's what she want. I'm
Can I
keeping it
say
real.
this? Can I say this? And let me throw this out there and make y'all can dispel this and say I'm an idiot. But I think if somebody was actually truly straight, then you can't make them be with you. They actually have to have some type of curiosity or some type of thoughts about being in that situation and being. I'm I'm assuming because as a straight heterosexual
Curiosity.
cisgender man, I don't want to be with a man whatsoever. I mean, I don't have that thought. So a gay male could not come to me and actually and trap me, and it makes me think that I'll be willingly that. But that's me. So I always assume, and I'm a big WNBA guy. I love WNBA, but and one of the and if y'all know anything, like a lot of the players, it's WNBA is about 70% gay, but a
Yes.
lot of the players actually date one another, this, that, and other. And and they are in New York, and it was like this one woman, she started dating one of her teammates, and she said she was dating a straight woman. And I'm saying to
Mhm.
myself, no, she just never dated a woman before you, but she actually had to have some type of being,
Yeah.
attraction or paying. but you saying it's people that go act. I don't think the person is actually straight if they go down that road. They actually have some type of uh
You know
feelings or
my
something like
motto.
that. And I'm saying that as whereas though I've had threesomes with two women,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times the women say they get down,
Oh
but
yeah.
they don't clarify themselves as being a
Bisexual.
lesbian, but you kissing on somebody, y'all doing
You
all this and they
bisexual?
things. It's just you got to have that thought. You got to have that belief system.
Yeah.
You can't be totally straight. I'm sorry.
Let me tell
It's
you what.
like probably
Oh, go
95%.
ahead.
Ain't no, I
Yeah.
told you know my motto. Dion, you probably the only straight person I could say, but you know my motto ain't no such thing as a straight. Everybody, everybody, everybody.
Okay, all right, but even, no.
You
If you
know,
want to
hey,
go, if you
now,
want to go, but if you want to go by a chemical makeup and
Mhm.
how it, I have female tendencies. I mean, and things like that. Whereas though a lot of everybody have like maybe
Yeah,
male
yeah,
because we have estrogen and
yeah,
testosterone. You want
yeah,
chemical
yeah.
makeup,
Of
but
course.
none of my tendencies is not to that point. Whereas though you understand what I'm saying, I'm not going to that point. I
That's
don't
true.
I don't have get I can't. But I know what you're saying, Donna. Whereas though and then it's I forget what the term is, but sometimes it's people that like to have, intercourse sexual relations with the same sex, but they don't actually want to have a relationship with them.
Yeah, it's
You
something
know.
new. It's
that
something
we call
new.
that
It's
trade.
What is
something
it,
new.
Peirrce? What is it,
That's
They
called
call
Peirce?
them
trade.
trade. They call them trade.
Heteroflexible.
Hetero
Heteroflexible.
flexible.
Or
Yeah.
in our community terms, Dion, we call that trade.
It's
That's
trade.
what we call it. That's trade. But I do want to say, like, with my friend that goes after straight women, a lot of you have to see what she looks like, and she does not consider herself trans. She considers herself a woman, but she looks just like a man, a Jamaican man,
A
to
big
be
Mhm.
Jamaican
honest.
man.
Come on.
So she's
A
very
big
straight
muscular
up
Jamaican man.
and
Well,
she's very straight up when she meets what she wants. She gets to know
Uh-huh.
that person. They get to know her. It's not like they jumping right in bed because it's about a relationship. That's the other stereotype. Everybody think that lesbian women, we want to meet somebody and jump right in bed.
Hold
That's
up with
always
that,
the
because
yeah,
I hold up.
but
You
you all lesbians.
yeah.
yeah,
You
Not all
all
yeah.
lesbians are
lesbians.
like that, but she'll get to that's another stereotype about us that I hear all the time. We all about the sex and all this and that.
The
She actually get to know these people, invite them into her world to make sure this is something they want to do. You know what I mean?
but you
So
can't
it's
you
not
But
can't
like,
build a
to
lesbian
see,
cannot build a life with
look,
a straight woman. I'm sorry, because a straight woman is always
honey,
gonna
she's
think
doing
about going
very
back to
well.
you.
She is doing very well with her straight
Yeah, but I'm
life.
sure. Yeah, okay,
I mean,
okay,
if she ain't
okay.
straight now, but that's what she went after. She's now a lesbian because she's in a relationship. But I
Oh,
was just
oh,
trying to
she's a
say, like,
lesbian now.
nobody has to have that thought because that woman got kids. She was with a man, all of that. Now, what her thoughts were, I don't know. But she never considered herself her label. Who are we to label somebody what they are?
Hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? But and they're usually middle-aged older women. They're not young
Right,
girls.
that's what I said. Yep. That's what I
Okay.
said earlier.
And,
Yep.
and so that's what it is. But yeah, she keeps it straight up with him. She's probably been turned down, you know what I mean, by a lot until she found the right one. Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah.
But she doesn't
it's
want
it's
anyone who has been in a lesbian relationship. That's who she is. She goes
Okay.
after straight
there's
women.
there's a such thing in there's a such thing in the gay community that we call gaydar.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, and it's basically just the belief that gay people can sense other gay people. And I agree with you. No one who is truly heterosexual, you can't turn them out. They
Mm-mm.
have to, even if they've never touched the same sex, there has to be some type of inkling there has to be something in them that has always been
Attraction.
curious.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the heterosexual women that I know think just the smell of pussy is disgusting. You know, and there's no way to convert somebody who thinks that way. You know what I'm saying? I think there has to be some type of inkling. I mean, because I have friends that pride themselves in turning people out, and I I don't agree with it. I mean, they're my friends, so I obviously don't condemn them or judge them for it, but it's just not my way. You know what I'm saying? I have plenty of people around me that do things that I don't do, but I don't judge them because of the fact that their likes, their wants, their dislikes are different than mine.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you can. I don't think if someone is truly heterosexual, I don't think you can get them to budge. I don't.
Did anybody want to add to that before we move on to the next question? I don't know, Stan, you have anything to add?
No.
Okay, cool. Kalani?
I got a question.
Yeah. Is this the question section?
Oh, this is my. Oh, this not the question section. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait.
This ain't the question. We ain't never going to get through
I'm
this
gonna write my
thing.
question
I'm
down.
sorry. Write it down, lady.
Um,
So we can move on. Stack, you was about to steal my thunder because you were stealing my next question. As you was, I mean, how do you respond to the stereotype that the LGBTQ plus and trans attracted community individuals are incapable of maintaining a stable, committed relationship, and that they are very hyper sexual as a community? This is something that, as y'all would say, straight think that, like,
Right.
that. So, anybody want to tackle that first?
Mm-hmm. Well, we know men are sexual creatures anyway. They think with, most of them think with, so I don't
I
know. I
don't
could see
disagree with you. That's why
I
most of my friends are women, because a
but
lot of men are idiots. Go ahead and they think what they
yeah,
did. Go ahead.
yeah. I just think that yeah, I mean, like me, when I'm with my partner, sex is not the only thing I think about. That's a bonus, but that's not like, oh, I need to be in a relationship because I can have plenty of sex. That's not how I think, and I don't think a lot of lesbian women think that way too, neither. But I think that our relationships last when you have a connection with the communication. It's not always sex. Sex is not gonna keep nobody. Sex is not gonna it's part of a relationship.
Donna
Oh,
phone went out.
Donna dropped.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oop,
okay. She was
her
making
call
interesting
dropped.
points. Anybody else would like to want to go next and answer that one?
Monica, turn that light back on.
Stan must want to go get next.
Anybody else want to go? Wow, Donna dropped off. Anybody want to say anything about maintaining stable, committed relationships? If that's a possibility, or is that's just a myth?
All right, I'll speak on it. I ain't gonna let this silence stay here. I'll speak on it. Committed relationships in any whether it's I hear someone's got us in double. I hear a background. I hear okay. For me, in any relationship, whether it's heterosexual or homosexual, it's about what you put into it to make it last. I'm being honest. It had nothing to do about sex. It's learning how to, in a heterosexual relationship, women got their issues why the relationships don't last or marriages. Men got the same thing. Same thing goes in a homosexual relationship. It happens. but it's about what you're willing to put into. I can honestly say I've been in my relationship for 8 years. Has it always been a hunky dory? No, but communication is key. And I say the same thing for heterosexuals. When it comes to the sex part, that is always a plus. But there's other things that I like about being in my relationship. It's not always about the sex. It's about what can I learn from my other half to make me a better person and vice versa. It's about those conversations like that. And when you finding out what their love language is too, that's another thing a lot of people don't do. I had to learn the love language of my other half so that we could get to 8 years, and hopefully we'll get to 9, 10, and so forth and so on. But it takes you, a person who's in a relationship, you got to be able to compromise. Can't have everything your way all the time, and know sometimes that you will get told no. Might be that no for that day, but maybe come back to it 3 or 4 days later. And that's the thing. In these relationships that don't last, everybody want it their way. They don't know how to communicate. Communication is key. I'm a Leo, and I'm telling you, sometimes I can be stubborn and I can be set in my ways, but I've learned how to come out of my ways because I'm too old to be going out here and look for somebody else. Person I'm with is who I asked for, and I'm gonna make it work, and it's been beautiful.
Sorry, my phone overheated again. I don't know why my phone overheats.
It's okay.
Are you leaning it up against something?
No, I'm sitting by my computer, but I'm not. I just have it on the desk, and it's burning up right now. So I don't know if it's gonna. It's frustrating, but I'm
You
here.
might want to get to the phone, people.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take it to T-Mobile tomorrow. See why it's overheating like that.
You
Sorry.
pay too much money for that, sis. I like your phone.
Yeah, thank you. I'll sit here until my phone cut off again.
Was you able to finish your point, Donna? I think you were in the middle of your point.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
okay. It's okay. Who would like to, anybody else would like to, comment on the question? No?
You have to throw them in the hot seat. They'll sit there and not answer. You got to put them in a seat. Just call their
I
name
don't
out.
know that. I don't know the rules about that, but I mean, I think it's.
I'll go. I'll
I
go.
think. I think. Okay, so for somebody that's not mentioning, so I mean, you know what?
I'll
I
go.
okay, because straight people think that people in the community can't have a committed relationship. It's not.
You
It's not.
definitely
It's not
can.
capable. Okay, so come on now.
You definitely can. I agree with Smack. You definitely can. It's about what you put into it. And I've said this over and over because we just always think romantic relationship. I think any relationship, whether it's family, business, it's all a relationship. So it's about what you put into it. So it'll work if you know how to work it and if you can compromise. I just think that it is a more of a challenge
Ooh,
to
yeah.
compromise over here. And I'll say that because when you have two of the same counterpart, one is going to try to, for some reason, be the alpha, and you got to be able to compromise. So I think it's sometimes a struggle, but it can work. It is very possible, but you're gonna
Mhm.
have to work. It's gonna take some work. That's my
Is
answer.
anything worthwhile is worth some work, though, right?
Right,
don't
Yeah,
don't
I,
nothing come
I
easy.
agree.
Anything worth a while ain't gonna come easy.
right.
I,
That's
I
true.
agree.
And if it
Yeah.
come easy, I don't want it.
See, that's where we can agree. See, and see.
And me and my girl, we both cancer, so and we both strong black women, so we be button heads like
Oh, I
rams.
bet you that house is a mess.
No,
Then
she
it.
home now. I'm home by myself,
Mm-mm.
but she home because yeah, we be going at it. We be,
Well, when I met her, I did like her. So
she a wonderful person, but she is just she's like mirror me. She
right.
mirrors me, and It's like what I tell you, boy. It's I just have to laugh.
I'm curious what
uh,
Stan got to say.
that's what I was about to ask. Stan, what we say about maintaining a stable, committed relationship? Is that possible in the community?
Well, I think that we're putting we're trying to and put categories on these things. Um, it's like with any relationship, heterosexual, gay. Um, I mean, it's all the same. You know, we can't say, hey, gay people got relationships like this, and gay people are like this, because all gay people ain't one way. All straight people ain't one way. We're all human beings. So the issue I think people have is trying to categorize things. We want to try to put everything into a category. And so you got gay people that with relationships. I mean, it's all we all humans. So whether we put the titles on whether you're gay, you're straight, you're this, you're that, you're still a human being. And the relationships all just because you're gay, that doesn't change you being a human being. That ain't changing you. There ain't nothing gonna change. Because you're still a human.
A
But we have to
human.
categorize it. Um, you got you got the straight community that sit back and they got hell of a sexual issues and problems. You know, they said, but yet you want to sit back and say, well, gay people are oversexed. That's because we're trying to categorize certain things, but we're all human and everybody. So we can't put a category on it, and I can't say, hey, straight people, gay people are this way. You know, um, we just can't. We try to. That's the issue we got right now. We're trying to put everything into a category,
I
and we
love
have
you,
to put things
Stan.
into a category in order to satisfy our thinking and satisfy our minds into something. So we want to categorize it all, So
Exactly.
that's just how I look at it.
I love you,
And
Stan.
I don't judge people. I don't judge anybody. I don't sit back with people's experience, and I won't argue with people because your experience is different than my experience. I'm not going to sit back and say because the formula that I live my life, I respect everybody's experience, and I do. And that's why I can't sit back and take a category and say, oh, well, the trans attracted men are one way, and people sit back and use terms. They want to call me trade. They want to call me a chaser. They try to put all these categories into try to fit me into some shit, you know.
Tell us,
So for
Stan.
people to sit back and put me in a category, you know, if that's what you think I am, that's what I am.
So be it.
I
So be
know
it.
that's right. You ain't paying no bills.
Stan,
Shit.
I love you because you just so roses and flowers. No categories, no nothing. We're just all
No,
Because
but
human
I
I'm
think
beings.
human.
Stan makes a good point because a lot of times, especially with I'm gonna be completely honest. Straight people like everything in a nice little box in a bow. They like
So
um
do we.
they for the most part, if you talk, especially people that are ignorant, and I love to use the term ignorant because for the word for what it means, they don't know. Everybody, everybody in the community is just gay. It's not. It's not these different categories. It's not the different letters. They don't want. They don't have the energy or the bandwidth to actually separate and actually be detailed and understand that.
Can I
And
be
it's
honest?
very trying having conversations with ignorant people.
Right.
In my way. But Stan is completely right. Whereas though I think his opinion is right. He's like everybody wants everything to be in a nice little bow, a nice little box, and just say you're gay. The same thing that they would, and I'll always bring it back to where it's though every black person is just black, and they have the same. They everybody thinks the same, and everybody. What I've learned tonight so far, and I already knew this, but I hope somebody that's watching that didn't know this. Everybody, people in the community is not a monolith. Just like black people are not a monolith. Everybody don't think the same. Everybody don't have the same upbringing. Everybody don't have the same belief system, and they everything hits them differently. But ultimately, it's just a respect thing for everybody's opinion, and where's the and everybody's upbringing, and then
It's
we get to learn. What do you want to say about that, Tim? You need to jump in
yeah, because
because yeah, it's your
it's
turn.
it's a lot of there's a lot of level of ignorance, and not all of it is from the outside. There are levels of ignorance within the community too. Like some
Teach
people
on
in
it.
the
Speak
community,
on it.
some people in the community can't see past their experiences, and anything that's different than their experiences or different than their reality, they attack it. They don't take a moment to absorb the fact that this is something outside of your comfort zone. This is something outside of your upbringing. This is something outside of your experiences. But anything that is people fear what they don't understand, and first reaction is always to attack it,
Mhm.
Let me
and
say
that's a
something.
level.
One time we was talking about, and I told you guys before. That's why I don't believe in and I never believe in self help books. I don't, and I'm not saying that they're not right or wrong, because if they help you find a self help book, is when somebody sits back and they tell you how I overcame something. That is their journey. That's their journey. So when you buy that book and you try to find use that same formula, it ain't gonna work for you, and it can, but it because there's things in their lives that you don't experience. And it might be one little tiny thing that, like in my life, I wouldn't change a thing. And if there's one little thing in that little journey that changed, that one little piece could make me a totally different person. So when I listen to I don't mind listening to people's stories and I understand their stories, but I can't sit back and say, hey, that formula is going to work for me, because that formula will not work for me. Because and I can't depend on, like I remember when the Oprah had some family child people on her show, and they was telling you how to raise a kid, and then Oprah went back and said, you guys need to get this book. I guarantee it will work. Oprah ain't never had a goddamn child, but Oprah said, I guarantee this will work. You see, every parent and how you raise your child, everybody's story, everybody's journey is different. And the whole key is we have to respect that. Everybody on this panel has a story. I will never sit back and debate anybody's journey or story, because that's what happened in your life. I respect y'all as people because I listen to your journeys. But I can't sit back and debate this is the way it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. You know, we got to categorize what we are. We got to do what we are. You know, I don't put nothing into a category with nobody, and everybody's story is different. And the whole thing is we need to respect everybody's journey and story. And I can't sit back and talk about anybody on this panel. Like Tim said, what happened with him. How can I sit back and say he's wrong? I can't say Tim is wrong because of what he went through. Just because I didn't go through it, I respect how his decision was made. And then I'm not going to judge his decision. That's all I'm trying to say. We all the same.
Thank you, Stan.
You know, we are.
Yeah, that's why I don't like labels.
Yeah.
Thank you. I like her. Who said that?
I do not like labels. I don't go by labels. People ask me what I am, I tell them I'm a smack. That's my label. And my other half, took her a while to learn that, but I don't do the label thing. I hate it. I am who I am.
Yep.
And people think I'm a stud. Yeah, I'm male centered, but that's not my label. I'm a smack and stand on it. Thank you, Stan.
Yeah,
Thank
and you
you.
know what? They were trying to do a show. Y'all heard of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they approached me about doing this show, they tried to make me be like the goddamn training Chester of Atlanta. Seriously, that's why they want to do the show. And they
What?
had everybody trying to convince me. They had people from Gabrielle Union getting in touch with me because she was one of the producers of it. That I'll be so powerful when you do this. They was trying to put me into a category that I wasn't,
Right.
and I refused it because I'm not
Good.
going to be categorized, and you're not going to turn me into something I'm not. And I'm not going to. So I don't believe in categories.
I'm sorry,
Live, let
Stan.
live.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear. What were they trying to make you into big?
The tranny chaser
Speak.
of Atlanta.
Oh, the tranny
Oh,
chaser of
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
You know.
and
dang.
that's a term. I'm asking.
Oh yeah. That's the definite
Yeah, a
term.
tranny
Tranny
chaser is a
chaser.
term.
Trade.
A tranny chaser is someone who likes transsexuals, transgender women.
Right.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that can
Okay.
be,
Kalani, help me out.
No, I'm not being. I'm
no,
learning.
we're
That's a
educational
term I
now.
never heard.
Yeah,
Kalani, help me out.
they saying that right
What?
now about what's his name? He's on Love and Hip Hop. They must have pushed it on him. What's Brandy brother name?
Oh,
Ray
Ray
J.
J.
Ray J. Ray
Yeah,
J.
but
Yeah.
they saying that about Ray J. But if that's what he liked, then that's what he liked. Like, I
But
don't get
but
it.
Ray J is saying that about himself.
Right.
Ray J just had an interview where he said that he is
Mhm.
a
I
cunt.
know.
Yep.
And the person was interviewing him, asked him to repeat himself, and he repeated it again.
Yeah,
I am
yeah,
what you call a cunt. CUNT. Ray J putting that out there on
yes.
himself.
Yeah.
But we have to remember, cunt is not a word just for the homosexual community. It's also used in the heterosexual community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why
And
they
And
that's
use the
what we
then
word
have to
tranny chaser.
remember. So with him saying that, it went off into a hole. But go look at some other interviews, and he'll tell you
What
that he
man's gonna
loves.
call himself a cunt though?
what?
Yeah, nah. But men in the heterosexual world say that word to
To
the women
women.
they date, to the
Yeah.
people they date.
That's
So
Yeah.
derogatory. Where I come
It's
from,
a
that's
yes,
derogatory.
derogatory. That's the
Yeah.
worst
So
thing.
B
why,
One of the
word.
worst things
so
that
why
you can
would he
call a
call
woman.
himself? Why would
yes.
he call himself a derogatory thing?
Look at what he
He
been
has
through.
no
The
respect for
public is
himself.
already exactly. He's
If I
trying to make
agreed to do it
headlines.
and took that
Trying
label
to make
tranny
headlines
chaser,
right now. When famous people say stuff like that, they try to make headlines. They can drop music. They can come
They
out with a new.
irrelevant.
it's
He's
about
very
money.
Yeah,
It's
irrelevant.
like it's
he's,
like if I
who
accepted
knows what he coming out
if
with?
I accepted the term tranny chaser, I would accept something that I don't believe, but I accepted it because I can make money. I don't give a damn what people think about me. I could have gone with that and let them
Right, you
run with
got
that
morals.
stereotype, and it would
Right,
have been a
because you got
stereotype.
morals. Because you stand for something, Stan, and you stand on it, and that's what I love.
You know,
Hmm.
like trade and all this shit. They came to me hard, and I swear to God, they came to me so fucking hard to do it because they saw dollar signs. But my thing is, I got a fucking family. I got my own
Right.
reputation, and when the
Exactly.
show ends, ain't nobody there gonna be supporting me because I didn't put
You might
myself
be a
out there.
target. Yep.
And so, hell with all that,
Mhm.
But that's for real, and it goes back to what categorizing somebody. Tranny
Mhm.
chaser. What the hell is that?
A derogatory comment. I don't think it's anything positive
Yeah,
in this.
yeah, some
Right.
shit Love and Hip Hop created to get them more views and
Well,
more ratings.
we're talking about reality television, whereas though I believe, in my opinion, I'm not a fan of reality television. It just looks like, for the most part, it uses the lowest common denominator to try
And
to
guess
make
who the
this
audience
trash
is, though?
television.
The
Um,
audience is for the straight people.
It's all about spinning the
It's
narrative.
for the straight
yeah,
people to make us out to be the show. So we got straight
That's
people.
it.
That's who they targeting. So the straight people look at us as the clowns. We're the joke. We're the freaks, and that's what it
Hmm.
was. It's all to make us into the freaks for the straight people, so the straight people can sit back and laugh and say, "Oh my God," all that kind of shit. You know.
Hence Miss Netta, hence Shamar. That's what his name?
There you
I mean,
go.
that's why. No, that's why they're so popular. It's not
Yeah,
popular because these people are doing things to change their life.
and they got no
They're
talent.
popular because they're actually a, they're a joke.
Yep.
That's
Shamar, I
how.
don't feel
That's how.
he's a
That's
joke.
how.
He's living his
That's
truth. I
how.
love Shamar.
Right. That's how
I love him.
heterosexuals see us. So those are the perfect people to put out there and to put on stage to tap dance in front of everybody. Shamar, Miss Netta, they always find somebody that's. And I don't feel this way about these people, but they always find somebody that can be a joke. Or they find a stereotype. They'll
Right.
never have somebody like me. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? There's no stereotypes here. When you look at me,
Right.
you don't see any of those stereotypes. You see a
Right.
strong black man.
Right.
They would never put me out there. They would never put, they would never put anybody that goes against the stereotype out there. It's always the ones that are the exact stereotype. Then that's
and
the
why do
only
you
time
think
they put
that?
us center stage.
Because you're
Why do
not
you
gonna
think that?
sell nothing.
Why do
It's
you
like
think that?
if you see Tim right now.
Because they got ratings, they got numbers behind them. And you got to think about it.
Mhm.
Shamar, when he, I can only speak on
But I
Shamar. I've been
gotta.
following him for years. Shamar got numbers. He built that fan base.
Right.
They
Hmm.
and when the famous people started resharing Shamar's stuff, he got more followers. His
Mhm.
followers are out to the point where I think this is his second or third Instagram, second or third TikTok, because
Mhm.
they were taking his stuff down because of the relationships. And he wasn't with no famous people. He's just with he shared his story with the man, a disabled. He slightly has a mental issue, and his speaking isn't that great, but it is getting better. I will say that. But he got people following him. So what is some of these bigger platforms are going to do, and these famous people they want to send a message to Shamar to say we following you. But when you got bigger names than your actual show you got, lifting you up, bringing you more followers, it makes
Mhm.
you more you're more valuable. So that's
Mhm.
why with Stan's situation, got his own business that's doing amazing, and he's doing makeup for some of these big shows, and they see him with famous people, and so
Mhm.
that's why they want to use Stan so they could get more new followers and get their numbers up. That's the only reason they do it. But I salute uh Shamar. They're living in their truth. Netta, you know what I mean? I thought
Mhm.
at first it took me a while to get on with Netta and Charles
Yeah, me
because
too.
I had to do my own homework, but they are officially married. Because I thought, what in the world's going on here? Because I seen him with some other woman, but it's not even Charles. It's somebody that looked like Charles. So before I start, and I have donated to Shamar. I like Shamar. He's got the little kids following him doing his dance. He's
I
not
Mm.
like Shamar as
by
well.
far dumb. He's very smart, and most of his money come from schools. Him just making appearances.
Mm. Nice.
I think we kind of got off the tangent.
Yeah.
I want to get us back. I want to get us back on course. Um, and move on to one of my major questions. I only have a few more. Um, I wanted to know, do you have straight friends, and does your identity, your orientation ever cause any tension in your friendships? Yeah, everybody got it. Everybody's silent on it.
I mean, I'll answer.
Come on, Tim. All right, go back. Or Stan. So who's going to answer?
To answer the question,
First
no.
up, huh?
The answer with me is no.
Oh, really?
Really, yes.
That's very interesting.
Seriously, no. And I'm talking about friends I've had since I was in high school. Uh, and it's seriously no. I never had any issues or tensions because of that.
Oh, so you do have straight friends. That's what I'm asking.
Oh,
Yeah.
tons of them. Yeah, I deal with.
Okay, okay. I thought you were saying no, you didn't have any straight friends. I was like, oh,
I
really?
thought so.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I felt. So
But
yeah.
my lifestyle, how I live my life, has never created tension or animosity or anything.
Okay. Cool. Cool. You got you doing. In that case, you got you some good people. Then that's for sure. Because it's just so many times that we hear stories. Well, I've heard stories and
Oh yeah,
dealt with situations that you come out or you are a certain way, and then people go the opposite direction,
yeah,
uh,
and I understand that, and I know people.
including family, blood.
especially
Yeah,
if you're in a
yeah.
You know,
Any, so I mean, anybody else straight friends, and if you do have any, has it caused any type of tension, or did you? Let me ask in a better way, because I'm gonna be honest, even for me as being an ally, and people, um, we have issues too. Um, it's certain people that I'm friends with that I don't discuss the work that I do because they wouldn't understand. When I'm not embarrassed about being an ally and working for this organization, but when I mention it to them and they some people just like oh, okay, cool. But I know that they'll you get a guide on who you can actually dig down deep and have conversations with, and actually are actually curious about learning about what the community is about. So personally, I have exited myself from dealing with certain people that may have negative thoughts about the community as being an ally and being a straight, because I don't want their negativity around me. So
Right.
I was wondering if it's in a sense where as though maybe throughout the years that you may have picked up some straight. I think we like or is it so you only commune with people that's in the community? It's almost like you got a white friend. What I mean? For black people, like, or with white people, you having a black friend, somebody that's outside of your regular circle. Yeah, did you have straight people in your circle? That's what I'm the question.
I'm gonna
to
say
me,
this.
it's how you carry
Go ahead.
Yeah, I
yourself.
do. I have since I've been in, like I said, in Delaware. I've acquired a lot of white friends. Me and my girl were just at they invited us to the bar this past Saturday. They know about her, and we had a good time. But I don't have no really, besides them. All my other friends are really like in the is gay. So, but
Okay.
mainly the white people I hang out with, they mostly they're straight, they're allies because they treat me like I'm down. That's it. They don't see because I'm gay or nothing like that. They don't treat me no different.
I just want to say, like, for me, I ain't got that many friends because I take the word friend very seriously. But my straight friends have never had to doubt me, question me about anything. I have more problems with people who are on the outside. who are associates, I may say, or some of those people who you pour into that really don't pour back into you. Those are the ones who got the issue. But I got something that you need. You feel what I'm saying? But some of those, I'm not gonna say all, some of those people are the ones who have the issue because I don't know what it is. Like this week, they thought I got my commitment. People thought I got married. They thought I got married to a man, and I'm just like, what?
What?
So I have to change that. You know what I mean? And I was like, what? No, it was a commitment ceremony to my girl of 8 years. So there are people who are just not educated, but they're not my friends. All of my straight friends in my corner accept me for who I am. It is not a topic of conversation. If there's something they don't understand about my lifestyle, they will ask. And we're still friends afterward.
Kalani was doing a lot of head nodding and shaking and everything. I need. Come on now. What you had to say? I think you were reacting when Smack was saying everybody. She has a small friend group because everybody's not her friend. She don't. It's more or less associates. So, but you was head nodding. So, what you had something to add to that?
I agree with Smack.
That's not add nothing. You just said I agree. Yeah, you did that.
I agree.
That's all it
No,
was.
I mean, why would just a thought? Why would somebody's life choice or however you want to put it, why would there be a point of contention with a friend, someone who you consider a friend? You understand what I'm saying? So if it's a point of contention, then we're not friends.
Right.
So yeah. I do have a lot of heterosexual friends, and that doesn't sexuality, identity, and stuff don't even come up because I'm me and they're them, and we see each other as who we are. It's not a point of contention. So the answer to your question, no.
Right.
So true. Did anybody else want to get in there with this one? Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Cause the last few were kind of like real hard hitting ones. Um, for
Did you
one,
ask the question
do
that I
you
wanted to
find
hear?
yourself defending your existence to people? Do you actually find where as though in situations you have to have just conversations which
Johnny was saying something.
huh?
No, I was asking. Did you already ask the question that I most wanted to answer? The first question on the list. Did y'all already answer that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
yeah. All
It's
right.
a okay.
Cool.
But you want? Does anyone find that the question is? Do you find yourself having to defend your right to exist on
I,
being
I
who you
I
are?
didn't I didn't get a chance to
No.
answer the last one.
Did you did Tim? I'm sorry. I thought you was all Tim. You always in everything. I thought you did it already. Go ahead, Tim.
Nah, I want to really piggyback off of what Smack said. Um, I think Smack just really nailed it.
Hmm.
I think Smack knocked it out the ballpark. But go ahead with the next question.
So whereas though you saying you agree with her that whereas though you don't really have you have a small circle, so you don't
Okay.
really consider a lot of people friends,
Well,
and the ones that you
okay.
do have, they've been with you, they down with you.
Yeah, I have a small circle, and Smack also said most of the problems that she's had is not from her direct circle; it's people attached to them. And
Hmm.
Oh.
I'm a
Mhm.
very blunt person about certain things. And is language an issue?
Has it ever been an issue? I don't know. I'm new to the show. Oh, what happened?
We lost him. He'll be back.
No, I see Tim.
Yeah, what
He's
happened?
frozen.
I don't. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I was asking, is language going to be an issue?
Just go ahead and be yourself, Tim. Go ahead.
Tim, say what you need to
Okay.
say.
I mean, honestly, my friends know how I am when I handle certain situations. Most of the time, I'm a gentleman, but there's times that I'm not. And when somebody's around me and they're being disrespectful, they being out of the way, going out of their way to say little gay shit, I will kindly stop them and ask them, have they ever sucked my dick? I'll kindly ask them, have you ever sucked my dick? No. So since you have not sucked my dick, spit my dick out and leave me alone before you get more than you can handle, because I'm not your little gay friend. I will beat your ass. And most of the time after that, either one or two things happens. Either I earn my respect or we figure out who's going to whoop each other's ass right then and there. Now, I don't tolerate disrespect from anybody, male, female. And at first, when I address you, I'm going to address you as a gentleman. And I'm going to give you a few chances to get it right. And then it's may the best man win. And my close friends know that I'm that guy. So
I've seen it. I've seen it.
you
Frozen.
Yeah.
Tim frozen.
They probably cut him
Okay.
off, but I've seen it. Tim, do not play when you disrespect him.
Well, that's just ultimately where it's though disrespect should not be warranted by anybody. I mean, anywhere in any type of fashion. So I understand that totally. Tim, are you back with us? You there
yeah.
yet? Okay. I
Hmm.
mean, uh, you said what you had to say, and and I was saying, I mean, disrespect should not be warranted in any way. And it's the simple fact of the matter is, no matter what your sex, to me, no matter what your sexual orientation, your identity, and everything, when you're a grown ass person, you need to be, and somebody doesn't know you, they should always approach you with respect and just speak to you like you are a grown ass person. It's so ultimately, I never understood how you can dislike somebody or dislike the community when you don't know anybody, when they have not, when they have not done something directly to you, when somebody's not done something directly to you.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not
it
just an
just
entertainer.
ultimately just it cracks me up, and
Right.
I just don't get it. I mean, but one of the things one of the main topics that and we done talked about this, and this may sound, it's another thing that sounds crazy of that we move. I want to move on. Um, what are your thoughts on people in the community actually being becoming parents?
Oh, you froze.
What's going on?
You froze. I mean,
Hey, Don. Hey, Smack.
Hey, what's up? I'm here.
What are your thoughts about the community becoming parents?
that's
My
if I
who's
said
that
that.
for? Who's going up first?
You're in
Before I
the
go
hot
first.
seat, Smack.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I am. I'm in the center. Um, I think parenting is a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
I ain't gonna lie. When I was younger, I used not to go for women who have kids, but as I got older, I wanted to I wanted a woman with kids. Or if she didn't have kids, if I was in a relationship, can we talk about adoption? Or can we find, back then the artificial insemination wasn't something that my other half wanted to do. So we had looked into adoption. I think parenting is a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? You got, and then people try to say because we're homosexual back in that time, because I've been gay for a long, lesbian for a long time, but back in that time, they felt like homosexuals couldn't be parents because they looked at our community as having a mental problem. But you got a whole lot of heterosexual parents out here who, and I'm not saying all, there are some who are not good parents.
And
I'm
have
just gonna
mental
put that out
problems.
there, and have mental problems and all kinds of other problems. But I have met some very beautiful people, and I also have some associates, and I have a couple of friends who are of my LGBT circle who are very great parents. I love going to their page and seeing the happiness. So I don't think parenting in our community is a problem.
No.
And I stand for it.
All right, Kalani. Come on, you up in the hot seat. What about this parenting? Should we be parents?
I think I said it on another show, but I'm gonna say it again. I think that anybody becoming who is planning on being a parent, like you're planning, this is not something that just happened and you were thrown into it. You've had the time to sit down, plan, strategize. We're gonna do this. People need to be healed before they start taking care of other human beings, so that we don't start spitting venom into children. So I think it's a wonderful thing. It's very beautiful, but I'm a realist. I think that everybody don't need to be parents over here, just like everybody don't need to be parents over there. It sounds good, it sounds cute, but everybody is not a parent, and that's my opinion.
Stan, you're in the hot seat.
I think if people are ready to be parents, that they should be allowed to be parents. Uh, I don't think people should, but a lot of times people use children as an anchor to try to save a relationship, and that's the problem. When you use the child or use being a parent to try to salvage a relationship, that's the issue. So look at the reasons why you want to be a parent. And if you want to be a parent because you got a good relationship, you want to work, you want to raise a child, fine. But to sit back and have issues and say, "Hey, let's have a child," and then thinking that's going to salvage your relationship, and too many people use children thinking that the child is going to save their relationship. That's it.
That's that's an actually interesting thought, Stan, because it happens straight, gay, whatever.
Yep.
I often have conversations over the years with people, and they have that saved the relationship. I say people do one or two things when their relationship, marriage, whatever is on the rocks. They either have a child or start a new fucking business, which is and that's what they're going to do to try to save. And in both instances, in my experience, when speaking to people, the marriage and the relationship still comes to an end, and now they have an additional child. child.
In that business. Yeah.
Couples right now,
Yeah,
I swear.
or they buy a house.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the third one.
4 couples right now. I know a trans woman that married a trans man. I know a trans woman that is in a relationship with a lesbian, and each of those relationships are so abusive. And they come to me, and the one les girl that a friend of mine, I told her, she said, "Well, we talking about having a baby that'll save our relationship." I said, "I know 3 people ahead of you that got kids, and the kids in the middle of the shit because now the lesbian don't want the baby, you don't want the baby. Now y'all done got this kid involved, and you thinking that to me, if you cannot be with a person and salvage your relationship between 1-on-1, and you got to bring some other shit into it, you don't need to be in that relationship. And that's my opinion. Because I'm one of the
That's
people
real
that I
talk.
don't depend on anything outside. If me and you can't do it, I'm not gonna bring in a therapist. I'm not gonna bring and y'all can disagree with me, but that's just me. If I gotta sit back to be in a relationship with you, and we gotta have a third party sit down and tell me and you how to get along,
That's
and they
crazy.
don't live with us, that's me. I it's just some shit I don't deal with no more. I just ain't gonna do it. So I,
Right,
hey,
I agree.
right.
if
We
we gotta
can't
bring
get
somebody
together.
else in, we gotta bring somebody else to our bedroom. We gotta bring somebody into this shit to make
That's
us
crazy.
two people. So we gotta bring three people into this shit for you and me, two people to get along. Hey, the hell with that. No, no, I ain't going. So that's me. So y'all can disagree. Therapy. I don't believe in none of that shit. I don't. Because I'm not gonna let a therapist try to tell me how to deal with another person. And if me and her can't click, and then you're gonna try to convince me to how to make this work, that's too much damn fucking work. It ain't about it. So
All right, Donna. What about you with the children?
Oh, I got a story. I'm not even going to answer the question. I'm just going to make a statement. I'm dating a 31-year-old, right? Okay, we haven't had that conversation. That's all I got to say.
and guess what? You date a 31-year-old and somebody gonna have an opinion about that.
Yeah, they
They're gonna have
can.
opinions about that.
You
How she
see these
dating
things?
30? People fuck their opinion, man.
Right. I don't worry about nobody because
And
I got to
you
deal with her,
said it
not
right
them.
then. Okay. And guess what? I'm dating a 30-year-old too.
Hey, that's going to be another topic.
There you go. So now.
Well, guess what, y'all? Guess what, y'all? Let's make it a threesome. I'm dating somebody in their 30s too.
Hey,
Well, we
Smack
can
it
make it a
too.
we can actually make it a
I am not
quintuple
gonna.
because
I'm gonna stay
my
out of that.
my relationship, I'm dating somebody that's in their 30s,
Uh-oh.
uh,
hey,
and I
And,
used to always make the joke.
yeah, because I've always
If
dated
somebody
older.
was no, I used to always make the joke like, soon as somebody turned 40, then I'm leaving. I'm going to go find somebody younger. But I mean, but that whole age thing and all that like
I don't care about
that I
that.
don't do.
Bro,
It's all
it's,
about
it's,
it's all how you jive with one another because
Mhm.
bro.
a lot of
I
times.
always dated. I always dated older. I always liked mature. So I never
Hmm.
really looked at beyond the physical. I never really looked at the 30s. You know what I'm saying? But I actually met somebody who loves me because of me being mature. And I found a 30 something year old that is actually very mature for their
Yep.
age. And we like the same things and we like doing the same stuff.
Hmm.
And they're not with the whole ratchet generation shit. And
Yeah.
it's actually like a breath of fresh air. And I'm shocked because I wouldn't give 30-year olds a chance.
Me
And I
neither.
may have been missing out. But I'm
Me too.
enjoying this.
And guess what? And guess what? Out of all the years of
I'm
my
young
life,
at heart.
wait a minute, all the years of my life, it took a 30-year-old to teach me and taught me how to love.
Wow.
I've learned
Right.
how to love because of that.
And here's the thing that I really love about the situation. I don't have to try to be a young boy. I don't try to have to act like I'm younger than what I am because
Exactly.
Hmm.
they give me exactly where I'm at. Because I've never been one of those ones that wear the shit that the young people are wearing and push out in the clubs and try to pull the young people. That's never been my interest.
Hmm.
So I'm like I'm really grooving right now. But I'm gonna let y'all get back to the show.
Yeah, let's get back to it.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get back to the show.
Yeah.
Um, Now this is this is a topic. This question is something that me and Peirrce actually had a long conversation about last week, and I have a certain opinion about it. But
Okay.
how do you guys feel about um, gender affirming care for minors?
Uh,
Mm.
Woo.
Oh shit.
I
Yeah,
support it.
this
Nope.
is a this is a this is a this is a
Nope.
this is a hot button topic
Yep.
that gets, I really believe in some aspects, especially with the straight community, they actually drop the ball with having understanding and a truth to it. I want to preface this by saying all the studies and everything that I read about, um, majority doctors co-sign that this is something that is positive and that is safe. Um,
Mm-mm.
so I just want to get you guys' opinion on what do you feel about gender affirming care for minors. Uh, do I gotta do this? I guess I'm gonna do this hot hot seat thing.
Let's put Kalani in the hot seat
In
first.
Cologne, I was, yeah.
You said
Good
no,
choice.
Kalani.
I don't want to go
No.
first. Let everybody else
Okay,
go.
okay.
Boo.
What?
I do not agree with that at all. Nope. I don't. Nope. I want them to wait until they get of age to make that decision and do that to themselves. I don't know. Not
hold on
nope.
now.
Nope. Sorry. I really don't. I really.
What are we talking
It's
about?
a touchy subject, and I don't even want to get into it. But I just say I don't. No, I don't think so. I wouldn't. No. Next. Oh, yeah, no.
How about Tim?
Okay. Me personally, as someone who has raised a child, children develop interests, and children's interests can last anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 years
I'm gonna tell you what. People
before they move on to the next level of their life,
here
Mhm.
in the
and
first.
then the next love of their life, and then the next love of their life. So these loves start around 5 and they never end. And one day you walk into this room of all of your child's different loves that was the passion of their life at one point in time until they moved on to the next one. And you got this room full of violins and tubas and jump ropes and shoulder pads and ice skates, and they're a doctor now. And that's my reasoning for saying that I think that that's something that if they're truly, truly, truly genuine about it, and that's truly heartfelt, and that's really who they feel they're supposed to be, they will be able to wait until they're able to make their own decision to do it themselves. I don't think that giving children that decision at a young age, I just don't think it's safe because in 3 years they may be on to the next love of their life, and it might not be being trans anymore. And that's being trans is not a small thing. Being trans is changing from one person to another person. Like that's not
Mhm.
something that you can just say, well, oops. That's something that's with you the rest of your life. And it's going to affect you in different ways when you realize that that's not how you want to spend the rest of your life. I think that's too much to put on a child. That's my answer.
Even grown-ups have it hard when they transition. So imagine a child
Trust
having
me. Trust me, I know. I've been around trans men and women for 32 years.
it.
And
Yeah.
I've seen how many of them that absolutely love it from day one to day two, and I see the ones who get to a point in their life when they regret it and
Mm-hmm.
they wish they could go back, but they've done too much. They can never go back,
Right.
and they have to live with that decision. And seeing those things and experiencing those things with those people, yeah, I think
Mhm.
that's too much too early.
Yeah. Too much. Just be a kid.
That's it. Enjoy it while you can, because this adulthood thing is not everything you think it is. You better stay there
Okay.
and enjoy yourself for as long as you can.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Who's going next in the hot
I
seat?
want to hold
Stan?
on. I want to
Okay.
clarify something. Um, I hear your answers and I respect your answers because, but I'm not talking about actually. I wasn't talking about like pure transitioning, and whereas though having any type of surgeries or anything like that. I was talking about when it comes to minors and affirmative care is like beta block. These are things that their parents they're not making the decision on their own. I mean, it's co-signed by their parents,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and whereas the only thing that I don't know, I'm a parent. I'm a parent of five children. Um, I don't know how I would personally would react if one of my children had came to me and said that they wanted to have beta blockers or certain things to that extent, um, to you know. But I know for a fact personally, I would not co-sign any type of actual surgery until they were adult. But so I didn't want you to think
But
that's not what I
some
was
of the
talking about. Whereas though any
no,
type of like actual
some
surgery,
of
I'm
the
talking about just.
some of the
I'm sorry.
parents are allowing them to start hormone therapy for introduction to hormones. I'm not talking about the physical the
Mm-hmm.
surgeries, but they are
Right.
introducing the kids to hormones, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's the same effect as the surgeries, because some of those kids, they don't have high testosterone, so they start those hormones take like real drastic effects on them very quickly because they don't have a lot of testosterone to battle.
Okay. Did he,
I think
okay.
Smack wanted to
So we know.
answer.
Hmm?
I think Smack wanted to answer.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Next, Matt, go
Uh,
ahead.
so I think a lot of people are not educated enough about gender affirming care. I respect you and I definitely salute you, Dion, looking at some of the data out there, because I'm gonna be honest with you, me as a lesbian woman, did not know much about it. I've been did my research first and now I advocate for gender affirming care. When it comes to minors, it's not about having a surgery, but there's some things that are just about being social, is what they identify as, you know what I mean? And I feel that at certain ages, and some of people are thinking like, you know, 4 or 5 years old, yeah, that's crazy, not gonna say that's crazy. 4 or 5 years old, because we don't know medically what they're, what's going on, but there is a lot of medical that goes behind it, meaning you have to see, uh, they're going to make sure and break it down to you when you're talking to minors. And parents have to be an advocate and speak and make what their child wants come to a reality, if they can. But I don't think none of it is a surgery, as Dion said. I do advocate for gender affirming care, but I believe a person 16 or 17, if they've been knowing what they are, like I said, I always knew I was who I was, but I never wanted to change my sex. But there are people who already knew who they were when they were young. So say they're 16 or 17, they have every right to try and go and get the medical necessities they need to affirm the identity or the gender that they think they are. I support it. I advocate for it. Now, I think when it's younger, there are things in place before you start going that full stream. Some things little kids can't take that a 16 or 17-year-old can take, or someone who's 18. You can't be giving hormones to a little child. You just can't. So you have to look at what the gender affirming part is. And I'm just saying, I think if people did their homework, because that's what I had to do. It took me about a year to really look at some of the studies out there nationally. And right now, because of people losing federal money, Delaware was one of those states that did it. We had places here that did it, but if you're watching the news, there's really nowhere for anyone to go unless you go to a private doctor. But I do support it. What a 16 or 17-year-old gets is not the same thing someone 5 or 6. I just want to put it out there. A lot of it is about social, and that is gender affirming care, making sure that what you're feeling at any age is the right feeling. There's all kinds of services and things you have to go through before you start getting into taking a pill every day or giving your shots every day. Nobody's doing that to a little kid, because that's what I thought until I did the homework. And I support it. Oh, and the reason I support it is because it's a human and civil right. Once you start telling somebody what they can't do, you're violating their civil rights. Even if it's a child. Sorry.
Is Kalani ready? Stan, you ready?
I'm going to kind of pass on this. And the only reason I'm going to pass on it is because my answer would be way too long. And because I experienced it working with, as a high school teacher, I worked with certain situations, and I can't just sum it up about, I can end it this way. Gender affirming care, I agree with. There's a lot of situations with kids, teenagers, that I experienced as a teacher, working with these kids and just seeing things, especially in the urban areas of a city like Chicago. And there's a whole lot of logistics that go along with certain decisions with these kids that I can't sit back and write and just answer that question, because I've seen a lot of decisions that kids have to make on their own because they have no parent. That kids have to do because there's no parent in the house. Kids that have been thrown out the house and they're homeless. So they had to make certain decisions that I sat back. And I'm going to tell you something. One of the reasons why I wanted to stop teaching school is because I lived in two different worlds. I lived in the world I lived in, and then I came into the urban world of the projects where I've seen all kind of stuff that happened. And I got depressed because I seen some horrible stuff. Homeless kids, homeless homosexual kids, homeless transgender kids, and like I said, I can't answer that question because there's just too many logistics with it. But like I said, we're not covering the fact that these kids are homeless. They've been thrown out. You don't have a parent making decisions. These are kids out here at 12, 13, 14 years old that are living like
Stan,
adults. And
Stan,
yes,
there's so much reality in what you're saying. And you know how I know, Stan? Because I used to take those kids off the street, give them a place to stay, find them jobs, set them up with their own place. And with these kids living with me, I actually had a chance firsthand to see the things that they have to go through, the decision making processes that they have, the pressure that's put
they
on them.
are adults as kids, and they
They're
had
forced to be adults as
yes,
But they're
kids.
not in society. Not they still kids.
In
right.
society, they're still kids, but the responsibility that is left on them is that of an adult.
Right.
So I
And
can't, like I said, I can't. Gender affirming, I agree with. It's necessary, but like I said, I've seen situations, and you got the drug issues. Then when you got the kid put out in the street, now you have the imprint of the older gays take advantage of them. Tell them this is the way to go. You're looking for a family. You get these what they call gay family, my gay mother, my gay father. You get all this, so somebody's guiding them that isn't their actual parent, and they're looking for something. It's too complex of a question to say, and even in the straight heterosexual community, where our school had a clinic where girls and where kids came and got birth control that they didn't have to get consent from their parents. Well, when you go in the lunch line and besides your food and your vegetables and shit, they threw 3 condoms on your lunch tray.
Mm.
You know, I lived with this. I see, so it's a whole lot of things. Or you got kids getting raped. The boyfriend or the mama is raping the boy.
Mm.
I mean, I had kids. I mean, I got so damn depressed working every day. Listen, but it's like I said, gender affirming. I believe in, and I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay. So, yeah, there's a
Thank,
whole lot
thank you,
more with
Stan.
that.
Thank you. Um, Kalani, you ready? No.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
Come on, let's get it.
I agree partly with everybody, actually. I didn't think I would, but I do agree. In some instances, I do think gender affirming care should be available to everyone as it relates to minors, children. Um,
I'm behind you.
I think we gotta let kids be kids. I think we gotta let them, because I was a lot of different people when I was coming up. In my head, I was a few different people. That didn't mean I wanted to be a mermaid at 17. I mean, I was Ariel. I was Ariel for for the majority of my childhood. In my head, that doesn't mean I want to grow a tail and all of that.
Are you sure you're not a mermaid now?
I'm a unicorn now. So, but I think somebody said it. I think it was Smack who said that how they do the care for people that are under the age of 12, and how they do care for a person that's 16 or 17 is different. And I just really think that people's mind, before you start altering the body in any way, shape, or form, because even testosterone blockers or estrogen blockers, that's going to do something to the body. That is what it's designed to do. I think before we start going to that extent, I think people's minds need to be developed, because sometimes that stuff can work and you can reverse it, and sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
And I just think that you need
There
to
you
be
go.
in a place, just speaking from a personal experience, I knew from a young age, I've said this before, who I was supposed to be, and all of that. But my transition did not begin until I was 24. You understand what I'm saying? The mind had to develop
Right.
to understand where I want to be. And some surgeries I didn't get until I was in my 30s
Mhm.
because I had to make a conscious decision that if you do this, you can't come back from it. So you need to make sure that this is what you want to
Right.
do. And I don't think that we should rob anybody of that decision. Like I don't think I don't think parents jump to everything their kids say anyway. If you did everything your kids wanted you to do, you'd be broke. And sometimes a no to somebody is not a no forever. It's a no right now,
Right.
or
Right.
wait until it's time.
Until you're of
So
age to make that decision.
right, and I just don't think we should be robbing them of being children.
Right.
And you saying to a child who believes that they're whatever. Okay, you are. You can affirm them without giving them medication. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You can affirm an individual without giving them a surgery.
Right.
There's ways to affirm, and I just think that we need to come up with creative ways, especially when they're not of age to really know. Because I think
Right.
Tim said it. You go into this room and all this stuff that you wanted and you wanted to be and you wanted to become, and then you realize you didn't even want that.
Right.
So I think the care should be available for those who are sure and those who know. Um, but for parents who are not sure and don't know which way to go, I think there's enough grace to take your time. And a transition is not you got to do it right now. You understand what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah.
transition, so it's a time type of thing. And even after all the surgeries that I've had, I'm still transitioning. The transition doesn't stop.
No. No.
It never stops, like for real. Because you'll get to a certain point where you think that, oh, okay, cool. And then it's like, mm-mm. Because even some people who have all the surgeries and all that, their mind hasn't caught up with that yet. They still think like they did before. So I
Mm.
think that we
Yeah,
should
and then
just
16 and 17, you still in school, so you got to deal with
right. There's a
other
lot of
kids.
bullying, and you're already being
Yeah,
bullied.
like why would you? Yeah,
Why would you
Those years
put
are
your child through
the
that?
words. Those are the years that we all spent hiding. A
Yeah,
lot of us.
yeah, yeah, and
still
for
got to
good
go to
reason.
school.
And for good, I think times have changed now, where it's a little more. I wouldn't even say it's a little more open. It's a little more tolerated.
Right,
So things are a little different now. But I just let kids be kids. Let
right.
them be kids. Um, don't
They
take
got
the
time for that.
care away. Just have it available, but let them be kids. I don't like seeing people push children too fast and too early.
Right,
So yeah, that's my answer.
I agree.
Who's
I
clapping?
I I thank you for that. All all the answers. There is no wrong answer, and that's the beautiful thing when we have
Mhm.
conversations like this. Like
Hmm.
I always, I the only thing. It's only one thing that, and it's so funny because when we talk to a person that's actually lived it went through this, I mean, it's more enlightening because, especially me being a straight person, I deal with hypotheticals, and I'm just everything. A lot of these things are just hypothetical to me. So I just fall on the fact that I don't want anybody to have any type of cosmetic surgery until they're older. But just like how you said, like affirming care doesn't always have to deal with
Yeah, man.
actually any chemicals or any things like that, but just affirming this is how you this is who you are, this is who you how you want to be addressed, and we affirm it. I'm so pro that because I am so anti somebody taking their life because
Mhm.
they don't want to be, they can't be who they choose to be. I'm so afraid of that. I see you raising your hand, Stan. Go ahead. But
Mhm.
that's my feeling because that's why I'm a pro affirming care because I just see too many of the suicide rates and
And see, when
it
we're
just really
talking
scares me.
about we're talking about in this situation when you talk about the affirming care, we're talking about how can you put it? The best case scenarios, where kids got the parents and everything. How many people on this panel have ever known any uh, body that tried to cut their penis off with a knife?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I had I had students that did that. So when we're talking about the world, hey, the parent let the kid make decisions, the parent make the decisions. That's perfect to sit back and say, but then you got kids out here that don't have that
Well,
support
that's true.
and that it to do that. And kids actually took knives to cut their penis. I asked the question, why would you do this?
Because
Because I
it
can't
really
stand this thing between my legs. See, I'm real affect. I really got passion with what I'm with this because I lived it, witnessed it, and dealt with kids like it. I'm not giving you any hypothetical situations whatsoever. I'm giving you facts that I lived and I witnessed. So ain't nothing hypothetical, and we can sit back and say, let the kid make these. Don't let the kid make the decision. Let them live their lives. Some of these kids don't have a damn choice, and they sit back and make their own decisions because there's no support for them. So I've seen
And
it. I witnessed
they
it.
need
I'm
a
passionate.
better support system. That's what they need. They
I
need
but
better
became a
support.
support
see
system for a lot of
this
these kids. And
right,
even when I was teaching school, I would bring my transgender girlfriend to school and let these kids see and let all the other teachers see. What you all think of me, I don't give a damn. And I let the kids see, hey, it's okay to be you.
Yeah, definitely.
Gender affirming.
And I witnessed so much. I taught 17 years. I can tell you. I mean, I got stories to tell you with these kids.
right.
Right.
And
See, the
I
thing
dedicated
is
my life,
a
and I
lot.
dealt with all these kids transgender. I even had a group for transgender kids where they had a group after school to come and sit because they had no other fucking place to go.
Right,
That's what they need. That's what they need.
or
So
no
that's what
place
I'm
that was
saying. So
safe.
we can do all these hypothetical and hey, we can do gender affirming, let the kids, live their life till they're 16, 17. A lot of these kids don't have that choice. A lot of them don't have it.
What do
You
you
know,
mean saying they don't have that choice?
they don't have the choice. They're put out.
They
Your
don't
What
know
mama
are the
how to
calling you
things
a
that you
access.
sissy every
ask?
damn day.
What I don't understand.
They don't know how to access the resources in order to get the help or any of this care that y'all talking about. These
Right.
kids have no idea to how to just go to an organization that helps the LGBT community organization. In Philadelphia, we have organizations like Colors, Philadelphia Fight, Mazzoni Center. And see, the kids didn't know how to access these things. So the kids that I would take off the street, I would take them down to Colors, or I would take them down to Mazzoni Center, and I would introduce them to people who could hook them up with food banks, pantry visits, vouchers.
I've had
You
kids sit back and then with the mama would sit back and I tell the mama, he just needs you to all he wants you to do is say you love him. And the mama would sit back and say, I ain't gonna lie, I don't love him.
Wow.
right in
I
his
Sad.
face.
don't love him. I ain't gonna lie, I don't love him.
That's crazy.
Yes. And see, people think, yeah, that is crazy. And like I said, I'm talking fact. I'm not giving no situations that I didn't experience. Well, mama can sit back and say,
Right.
hey, if he going to kill
I'm
himself,
so
I wouldn't
confused.
care. And then some people can't
That's
relate to
not. She
that.
not. That person was not human. That was a robot.
But I'm just saying, but this shit exists. This shit
It's real.
exists. It's real.
It's real. It's not.
Karen,
It's
I
not
don't love
numbers and
you.
statistics.
But I'm
It's not
sorry,
numbers and
I still
statistics.
feel
It's
the
real life.
same way.
You know,
They just need better people in their lives to help them. That's it.
see, we can say these things, oh, this is what they need. They need better people. They need this. They need that. But the
But the
reality
people in
is,
their
we can
life
say
don't
these
change.
things. But yeah, sure, they need that. But the reality is, that's why we have the situations we have. Because see, I don't expect any of you all to understand what I'm saying because you never experienced what
Right.
I've done. So I'm not
But
gonna
I
sit
have.
back
I
and
have.
expect you guys to understand that. But I'm passionate with it because I dealt with it for so long, and I'm very passionate about it. So this is what I'm saying. We need gender affirming things, but we got to look at all kind of other aspects of these what these kids are going through. If I had a kid that sat back and say, "Hey, I want to transition," as a responsible father, I could sit back and help him make these decisions. But
Hmm.
as a 12 and 13-year-old kid out in the street and then want to cut his penis off, why are you doing this? I don't want this thing between my legs. Some people ain't gonna understand that. They're gonna call their kid nuts.
But that's the purpose of gender affirming care.
It's a whole lot with this. So, but if he wants to cut his penis off, and then we say, well, he's only 13 years old, let him wait till he's 17. Some people don't have those options. They don't.
Well, I think
All right.
this is how I feel when it comes to that. People need therapy
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to transition. And we don't talk a lot about that, but people need therapy
Mm-hmm.
because people transition for different reasons. And everybody's reason is not the same.
But I'm saying is, yeah, I got a kid like Dwayne Wade with his daughter. They
Zaya,
had she had the support of a parent that sat back and say, "Hey, we're gonna go to therapy. We're gonna do this." I'm talking about a
right?
kid that's been thrown out to the damn street, ain't got
It's
no
not healthy.
resources for
And
nothing,
they encounter you.
and then you sit back. But then think about it. I'm only one person. Now they're being encountered by other people out there. I'm only one person. You got all kind of people out there that's predators on their ass and sit back. That's why I say, well, I couldn't answer this question because it's too complex. Gender
Yeah, it's a
affirming,
touchy
yes, but
subject.
there's a whole lot of dynamics that go with this. And
Right.
with
And
you
it's not
all,
a it's not an
with
end
me on
all
this
be
panel,
all.
I'm gonna give you all a perspective of certain things
Right.
because believe me, I dealt with real hardcore urban, poor, slum, ghetto project shit.
And I've been out there with them.
And I know, so anyway, it's it's sad.
It
Yeah.
is.
And many days, man, I left that school crying. Many days it made me come home and hug my own son, and I loved him more because of the fact, like, damn, these kids. When I left these kids, they ain't got shit, and you can't try to save them all.
Th-
No.
Thank
But
you,
yeah, a
Stan. Took the
kid
words
cutting
right
off
out
his
my mouth.
penis because he can't stand it, and then you got somebody trying to make him understand why he got it. God made you this. God made you that. Now he's fighting God. He's fighting what society say, but he know that shit between his legs he don't want.
I see you, Smack.
Anyway, so
Go ahead, Smack. You raised your hand.
Yeah, I was making sure Kalani was done with her statement with what
Yes,
she
I'm
had to
done.
say. Okay. I just wanted to put out like and something that Stan was saying, and also Kalani when she had responded earlier, the medical care, and this is where the education come into play, like the medical care that people in gender affirming care receive is all age appropriate. They're not gonna, they don't do no the gender surgeries. Most of that time that's done when people are adults. Okay.
Right.
Now there is one type of care that gives them puberty blockers. I think that's what it's called, puberty blockers. It
Mm-hmm.
basically allows the child to stay in the puberty a little while longer to make sure that this identity that they're trying to change to is we don't control how people are raised in their homes. I know
Nope.
me, I had to grow up a little bit faster because my mother worked 3 jobs. So I had to cook, clean, almost becoming a little mini adult in the house
Right.
so that my mother could provide for us. We don't know
Mm-hmm.
what these kids are going through.
True.
So, when I saw that, I was like, ah, that's pretty cool. But there's also therapy services there that are for the parent. Now we don't have those places in Delaware that people used to could go to get that gender affirming care to make sure that that's what their child goes. And I said all that to say, I want to
Mm-hmm.
give a salute to every parent that
Right.
is supporting their child as they're
Yep.
going through trying to find out what their identity is, because
Right.
we are now living what society says is a boy or a girl because it is scientific-ish that's out here.
Yeah.
I just want to salute to the parents because some
Right.
kids are born with more X or more Y or no X and all Y, but you're still saying it's a boy because of what's between their legs, and that's not right. And I'm done.
Right.
Thank you,
On that
Good
Smack.
job.
point, on that point,
Yeah.
I wanted to jump in on something about with that point. I have a
What you say?
I have a friend. Um, I think this is on topic but off topic. But I think this was very educational to me with being transgender. I have a friend
What is
who
this?
had twins um, at birth of physically a boy and a girl,
This on walk truck.
fraternal twins.
No, that's not when you pick me up something.
The
Yeah, it was.
the physically female twin always, as we talked about growing up, didn't want to wear dresses, didn't want to play with dolls, was that seemed more masculine. Um, when they became age appropriate during puberty, this she never got a period. She was a little heavy set, but she never grew breasts. She was just, heavy set, but never had a period. And by the time that they were a teenager and then was in college, had a full facial beard without any type of
Hormone.
chemicals. Whereas though, and I learned about, being intersex and stuff like that. And I even asked, you know, my friend who's the mother, I was like, oh, is so and so on? And she was like, no. She was like, she's never had a period. She's never, I said, oh, I said, so maybe it was a situation where as though her testicles never dropped
Drop.
and she never acted. So whereas though you actually had two twin boys And this person that I'm talking about now lives their life as and I had as a transgender son, married, has two children, um, a police, I'm sorry, a prison guard, um, had married to a cisgender woman and has two children. Um, but this is a whole another thing, whereas though part of the community, whereas though she was, she knew who she, he knew who he was. Um, and it's just the situation where as though the physical appearance, but if you basically, it gave me and enlightened me, whereas though this person never had to take any type of drug. And it was too many factors in their life to say that, whoa, something happened, whereas though you appear to be this. But when I say full beard without any, like, yes, and just and everything just masculine, but just happened to have vagina.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just wanted to share that because this is stuff that I have to deal as an ally. When I have friends and they're going through something with their children, they come to me and they ask questions and things like that, and and then I even get more educated. But it's weird as though I have to just for instance with my friend that with this situation with her son, I I had to like be into her to stop calling the son by the female name and stop saying, I'm saying, yo, stop, don't respect him. You can't get, and she's like, it's hard. And I said, I understand it's hard, but you have to respect him and who he is and what he wants to be called because you're his mother. And if he doesn't get the respect from you, how do you think he would be able to feel as though he getting some type of respect from some people out in the street, but not getting it from his mother? It's going to be very detrimental. And if you want to have to still have the relationship, you have to respect and work on it. Um, that's all I had to add about that. But I mean,
I appreciate you.
I respect everybody's opinion, and it's just it's crazy that just everybody on this panel, I mean, has had something that has crossed their bow in their life that has like this is that's affected me. It's and it's very intriguing. I'm trying to want to wrap this up because we're coming to the end.
I want
But
to thank you, Dion. Though I want to
what's
personally
that?
thank you as an ally.
Thank
You're
you.
definitely a super ally for educating your friends as they come to you and knowing the
Mhm.
right things to say. Because a lot of this, it would probably take us, as Peach has said, many years to go through this whole country and get people on the right path. But I want to say thank you for sharing great information because that's what allies. There's a lot of people say they're allies, but they're not. And I'll be telling them go talk to Dion because he is definitely a super ally. And I just want to say thank you.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that,
thank
and that thank you. Well, you no thank. You know what?
I,
I'm being.
I agree with Smack.
I thank you too.
It was awesome. I agree with Smack. It was awesome
yeah.
having you. It's nice to see perspective outside of our own, and yeah, and I think the questions that I don't know about everybody else, but the questions that you asked every last one of them were things that I actually had to sit down and think about. It wasn't nothing where the answer popped up right away. So just thank you for adding the outside perspective that we always needed.
Um, that's funny you say that, because I was just about to ask what were everybody's thoughts on these ally based questions, because they're not all mine. Because I had some concept of knowing certain these things, but I think this show and the shows that we do on IME, we're educational based, and you just, if people can watch this and actually say, and get something out of it. And y'all might not believe it, but y'all are actually professors, like teachers. Y'all have the education of this reality, in this life, that other people actually need to actually feed off of, and actually capture and get. But well, how do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about these questions that I gave y'all tonight?
I felt the questions were
Amazing.
amazing. They
Hmm.
were thought provoking. I actually did not, because I've been so busy. I didn't actually get to see them until I came in from my event. But the questions were good. They are questions
Yeah.
that I know allies probably want to ask, but don't ask us. You feel what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I really, the one on gender affirming care, just I'm gonna keep it real, really warm my heart, because it's something that I advocate for. And there are a lot of people advocating for it as well. A lot of things have been done to get gender affirming care, of course, the pressure on the governor. So I really appreciate you asking that one. And for Delaware to be a sanctuary state is amazing. So thank you, Dion. Great question.
Yes. Good show.
Okay, thank you. Did
Your phone
anybody?
about to die.
I was told that you guys usually end words, though. Y'all get that crosstalk and ask the. But I think we've been doing a lot of asking everybody else questions and
Right.
cross talking. But did so we don't have any more of that going on.
Right.
Anything else to
Phone
address
about
with
to die.
anybody else?
Yeah, Kalani had to go to work.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
and my phone about to die, but I'm hanging in.
okay.
No, I got
Oh,
two.
well,
I'm
I think we
charging
had
it.
a. It's all good. Cause we've been going for almost 3 hours, so I think that's just a
Right.
stimulating conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It was. It always
yeah,
is.
I noticed. I didn't jumped in many a night and looked some of the. Sometimes I'm usually in bed by now because I get up at 4:30 to go to work. But sometimes I
Ooh.
flip over and I still see that y'all going at 11:15, 11:30. I see a notification, and now I see why.
Right.
Because it
Right.
it goes so fast when you don't even know. But
Right. And then
I want to thank
some
y'all
nights
for
after we,
actually having me. It's been enlightening, and I hopefully that when people actually see this, they see the passion that and just how y'all really actually care about your community, to have
Yes.
opinions on so many different things. And I just want to thank y'all for having me as a guest host, and I appreciate y'all. And y'all guys are very, very entertaining every week. And hopefully, I'll be seeing y'all soon at
Okay.
different events and stuff that we're gonna be doing in the
you
future.
will.
I
You will.
appreciate y'all.
All right.
All right,
Yeah.
All right.
thank you.
I'm wondering, Dion, before you get off of here, is there anything that you made for was there anything that you could take back to your neighbor, your allyship neighborhood that you may not have known
Actually,
before?
to be honest, there's a couple things that I wrote down that I'm actually going to use on my show, in the coming future, which the Good Neighbor, with his ally show. but a lot of the perspectives that y'all say, um, I am going to use. But one of the biggest things that um, I'm gonna be honest, I um, when Tim and Stan have made an imprint on me about a couple different subjects. I was always on the belief system that people are innate and they are born gay. They are born who they are, and this, that, no. Tim gave me another perspective, and it was a smart perspective, whereas though I get it in the sense whereas though, yo, if I wasn't in this situation during the time that I was young, then I wouldn't have felt as though I don't believe I would have been felt this way or whatever. Especially when he talks about his religious background. Stan I appreciate Stan's bluntness and this description of I had no ideas about a trans chaser or these terminologies, those type of things, and and I ultimately, for me, I respect everybody and respect situation where everybody what they love and who they love.
Mhm.
If it's not for me, it's not for me. But I get the whole thing about who you like and what you love.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm going to take this back when I have conversations about different things about what the beliefs that they have this panel. And also the biggest thing, which I already believed anyway, everybody's an individual. Everybody has a different thought pattern. Y'all
Right.
don't agree on these subjects because guess what? Nobody ever agrees on anything totally.
No.
Everybody has their own opinion. So what makes y'all different than straight people?
Right.
Chill.
Even when it comes to your
Nothing.
own community, y'all got different
Mhm.
opinions,
Because
which
we
is
are
fine.
humans.
Right.
Exactly. And that's what people. You are not a other. People are not a other. We are
Right.
just all different individuals. But at the end of the day, we all make up this stupid ass little small blue marble.
Right.
And, so I'm gonna take that. I take all that, and I really enjoyed my time with y'all, and I appreciate
Thank
y'all.
you.
Thank
All
Same.
you.
right. And luckily,
Likewise.
next week you get Peach back, and then y'all can deal with her. Because I wasn't too comfortable about putting y'all on the hot seat.
I forgot.
Right. I appreciate
I'm
that.
a
Appreciate
guest.
you.
Thanks a lot, guys. I
All
hope
right.
have a great night and
Good night,
enjoy the
All right.
rest
everybody.
of
Good
the
night,
week.
everybody.
Good night,
Nice.
because I
Good
got to
night.
get up in 5 hours.
Um.
Thanks.